Greetings, everyone. I am Ozzy Arcane. Welcome back to my channel. With me again are Mad Matt
Yoo-hoo.
and Ojunix.
Oh,
And I'm just going to discuss something that I find kind of interesting thought process because of the fact that all three of us have either worked or currently worked in retail in the past, but
Something near and dear to our
it
hearts.
seems very apparent that none of these game developers ever have because of their just inability to understand that there are things you cannot say to customers, like a lot of them keep doing. Like one of the most notorious ones from recent memory. Well, it's not super recent, but it's from like last year, or technically the year before, because we're in 2026 now. But was when Concord came out and nobody was playing it. One of the developers goes on Twitter and says, "Why would I care what a bunch of talentless weirdos think about our game?" When you need customers, the last thing you do is refer to potential customers as talentless weirdos publicly in the open for all of them to hear.
As the first thing they're going to say is, nah, reverse card, you're a talentless weirdo. F off and not pay your game.
maybe, I don't know. Maybe be a little understanding. Take some criticism. Ask around. Get different opinions from different people. Put some thoughts together. Talk it with your team. But no, it seems the first default thing that a lot of these developers seem to do is go and Italianize, insult, and just downright put down people on the internet or online posts, forums, Twitter, Blue Sky, you name it,
I never talked to
and
one of you, but you're all instaphobes.
and belittle them because how would you understand anything?
Well,
You're stupid. I'm not. It's like,
and the thing is, okay, you want to behave that way online. Stop advertising in your profile's information that you work for the game company. You want to be like, because here's the thing, you just go by a lot of them go by their actual name, which I think is stupid. Most people have a you know
alternate
they have an
accounts.
alias that's the face of their internet presence. But
Yeah,
if you want to go by your actual name, fine. Stop advertising in your profile that you work for the company. Because here's the thing, if somebody that worked for Kroger had in their bio on Twitter, cashier at Kroger, and they sat there on Twitter talking about how stupid customers are and how why do you do this thing? Why do you just keep running their mouth about customers? If Kroger finds out about that, they're going to figure out who they are, what store they work at, and they're not going to have a job anymore. Because that's the way that works.
yeah.
You want to run your mouth. Don't let people know who you are and where you work. Keep your mouth, or if you want to be public about who you're working for, and you're this game developer, you need to behave professionally when you're online, because when you put that information in your bio, you're not just representing yourself. Whether you like it or not, you're representing the company. And I
And the
understand.
company will not have any of you.
Yeah. And this crazy thing with them wanting to call gamers sexist and this and that for a variety of
Biggest.
reasons. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they are right, but the thing is, in order to maintain a business, you have to bite your tongue and shut the hell up while you're representing a company. Because as anyone who's ever worked in retail understands, you can't just kick out every single customer you don't like, because unfortunately, the way the world works, you need to get money from assholes too to stay in business. So it doesn't matter if you're right or not. You have to still try to convince them to spend money on your product, because it's unfortunately how the world works. The thing is, a lot of the people that agree with the people that keep running their mouths also don't seem to be the ones that buy games, because if they were, none of these games would keep failing.
I also feel like I also just feel like a lot of these developers never grew up learning the meaning of no.
Also a
That
possibility. They are
that
a
does seem to be
generation of spoiled brats.
Yeah.
yeah. Because the funny thing is, a lot of people that actually went to college for game development and stuff like that to try and get into a big company, a lot of them probably had parents that were fairly well off in order to get in that
Yeah.
position to begin with. But
Yeah.
and the thing is the problem is a lot of the people that you're trying to get to buy your games are poor and are not gonna look kindly on you berating them about something. They want the game to forget about how shitty real life is. They don't want you reminding them by rubbing shit in their face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is like even the CEOs seem to be stupid about this stuff. Like there have been
Out of touch, more like.
well, like the CEOs are the types of people that would generally fire an employee for running their mouth about something, but a lot of them say really stupid things publicly because they're divorced from reality. Like the idiot, well, he wasn't a CEO, but there was that executive from Ubisoft that said people need to get comfortable not owning their games. Not a thing you want to
Ah,
say to inspire customer confidence in your company.
nope.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing you say behind closed doors. It's not a thing you say in any situation where it can be made public and people will know you said it. And it's like the thing going on with companies trying to push AI right now, and Satya Nadella whined in a blog post about people referring to AI produced stuff as AI slop. You are the CEO of a company that tries to sell product to customers. You cannot tell the customers to shut up and not say things about product. That's not how it works. Like, I'm
Especially
sure
if your product is looking like shoddy AI.
I'm sure that we've all had situations in a store where a customer had like a completely irrational outlook on something, but you can try to explain things to them, but if they don't like it, you can't argue with them. Once somebody makes up their mind, you're not going to change their mind by telling them they're wrong. It just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work that way. You have to try to find some way to make them happy enough to want to buy the thing you're selling. It's just how it works. You can say it's not fair all you want, but it's how it works.
Yeah.
And this kind of extends to things beyond just the gaming industry. It kind of goes with a lot of stuff with the entertainment industry in general. Because I'm sure you guys remember, like before social media really blew up like it has, celebrities had PR agents that would make sure they didn't say anything stupid publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's so many things that they say either on social media now or in interviews now that are completely idiotic, and you don't know why anyone above them allowed them to go public and say something like that. Like the best recent example is Rachel Zegler, who played Snow White, and you know a
Yeah.
lot of people. There are people that immediately complained because before anything else happened, because of the fact that they expect Snow White to be white. Whether you think that's important or not, this is just how some people thought. But the thing is, if you still manage to put out a good product, you'd still be able to be successful in spite of those people. But the thing is, then she went on to on an interview tour and was running her mouth about the classic that the thing is based on.
How bad it is.
Like how that movie is literally what made Disney what they are. I'm not a
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that movie myself as far as the Disney princess stuff goes. There are quite a few I like way more than Snow White, but like if I was working for the company, I sure as hell wouldn't go around bad mouthing it because it's just
Right.
not an intelligent thing to do. Um, and the thing is, she's not even a bad actress. But the thing is,
She's running her mouth.
she came off as so unlikable that like a lot of people hate her so much
Oh,
that they also think she's ugly, even though she's not really ugly. But the thing is, a
she's ugly on
person,
the
yeah,
inside.
a person, a
She's
person.
such an ugly person on the inside that she even started commenting on how much she hated meeting fans at the park.
Yeah,
At one
Yeah.
point. It's like,
That
wow.
yeah, at that point I was like, okay, I don't care if you're a good actress or there's some actual good parts about you. After just hearing that, you have lost all credibility in my eyes, and I do not care if you ever start another movie.
And yeah, it's crazy because the thing is, beauty is only skin deep, and a personality can completely make anyone ignore anything your looks bring to the table if you are just insufferable to be around. And she literally destroyed her career because I don't think we're ever going to see her in anything again. And we
I think she was given something, and then they kind of quietly hushed it.
Yeah, I
and
wonder why.
But and the thing is, she's not the only celebrity we've really seen it happen with. No one else has gotten it as bad. Well, let me rephrase that. No one other than Ezra Miller has gotten it worse than her. But that's a completely different ball of yarn that has nothing to do with what he was saying publicly. That's to do with the fact that he had a massive criminal record going on, and Warner Brothers just tried to ignore that was happening and thought people would still go see the
Yeah.
Flash movie, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
We can at least say at least she's not that. At least Rachel Zegler is not an insane cult leader. um, but like
That we're aware of.
Thankfully.
but I mean to some extent we've seen like Brie Larson's career kind of falter because she bought into. Admittedly, this isn't completely her fault. The people above her were hyping Captain Marvel to be this unstoppable goddess of a character who's better than every other Marvel character, and she bought into it and was running her mouth about it because that's what they told her. But the thing is, those interviews, you could see the other actors sitting next to her were very
Not
annoyed
really
by her.
enjoying. Yeah, they weren't enjoying being with her. They weren't enjoying talking that much about her, and her. When you go to watch those movies and it's focused on her, she's really one note and boring.
Yeah, but I mean, I think to some extent her career has survived and will probably continue long beyond Rachel Zegler's because she actually had some wins under her belt before the Captain Marvel
Yeah,
thing kind of soured people's opinion on her. But
Yeah.
we've seen this stuff happen, and it's kind of crazy. It's insane that no one ever figures out to just not say really conflictive stuff online. It's like I don't understand why people are so bad at this.
maybe not picking a fight with your public would be a good idea.
It also doesn't help that when things go really bad in Hollywood, Hollywood will just drop you like a sack of bricks.
And unless this is another thing as well, this isn't really related to that entirely, but it's a similar situation. It's like I can't count how many content creators that even if I still watch their stuff, I've stopped following them on social media because
Oh, yeah.
even if I agree with with their takes to some extent, it's like I do not follow someone whose thing is reviewing video games in order to see them constantly
See whatever
post,
hot takes they constantly
yeah,
pull out. Yeah.
post about
Yeah.
real world politics stuff in general, like about
If I wanted
anything.
that, I'd follow somebody that I already follow for that kind of thing.
Like I can understand why people like every night like I can understand why you respond to like a really bad news story that just came out and it ends up in your feed, but some of them it's just like nonstop and
Yeah,
it's
constant feed of it. It's like I don't need this.
I don't need
Exactly.
this. Like there's a reason. Like I'm not gonna argue about in favor of either political party because that's not my point here. But like,
Yeah.
there's a reason that during the 2016 elections, I muted the names of all the candidates on Twitter so that I wouldn't see posts about it
Yeah.
because I like and granted we're in this weird situation where we work in retail. Our lives are stressful enough without coming home and trying to relax and seeing stuff that's going to make us angry. Like that's just but it's kind of insane. And the thing is with them with the content creators it's a little more understandable though because they're self-employed. They've never been in a situation where they have a PR agent telling them, "Hey, don't say this."
Possibly, yeah.
But it's crazy to me.
If they've got no real world experience and they just kind of popped off, yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy to me that these celebrities say all this stupid crap and that the game developers that the place they work for doesn't have some sort of policy about saying things online.
Yeah.
Like you think they should. I mean, the
They
thing
should.
is,
They don't have moderators for every single one of their accounts.
and to some extent they do, because there will be times where one of them says something bad enough that they'll get fired. But here's the thing: if you actually had a policy that told them not to do that in the first place, you wouldn't have had to fire them. They would have already known not to do it.
Right.
Although some of them might be foolish enough to try.
Right, but they'd be less likely to if they realize, oh, if I say
Yeah.
this, I might get fired. They might not say it. Or, like I said, the other alternative is, if you really want to put out your thoughts on that stuff, post anonymously like
Yeah.
most people do. Stop trying to use your job as the guy who does some graphic design on this game in order to get clout online. Because the thing is, the other thing that's crazy about this is, for a lot of them, they have that in their bio, but like, your average person still doesn't know who they are unless they look at their bio and see that. There's not a whole lot of Hideo Kojimas in the world where
Yeah.
people instantly know who that developer is.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't really help you that much to have the thing in your bio. I'm sure there are probably a lot of other developers and game journalists that will follow them because of that. But as far as actual fans, for the
Yeah.
most part, they don't know who these people are. They just don't. But either you got anything to add?
Yeah, a lot of these people are just out of touch. I don't know what it is that they think they can lip off to people like they do. The only time I've ever seen at my work where we can get anywhere close to that is having to have a manager explain why they can't do the things aren't allowed to do, and people will still have their little freakouts and rush out of the building. And that's about the closest we usually get to it.
Yeah.
Because you believe you me, I've seen so many people leave carts in the self checkout area that I want to take one of those carts, find out who left it there, and run them over with the cart.
But
I'm so sick of it.
right. But obviously, you can't say that, and at least not at work.
You're just gonna say it, but you can't do it, and you can't threaten people right away at work either. Yeah, but you just
Yeah,
sit there like,
they're people that you want to tell off because they're treating you like crap. They're being disruptive, rude, terrible for no reason other than make everybody around them miserable. You want to tell them off. It's like, you don't deserve this. Nobody does. To leave and rethink your personality. But everything is against you. Tell you, if you do that, you can say goodbye to your job. And in my opinion, I understand, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Well, it's because you cannot just, because the thing that there's so many issues that can happen with you making a customer mad, because the one of the big problems is, and this is another thing that people that doing this stuff online don't think about. You made that person mad, okay? How many people that they are friends or family with that are also not going to give you business anymore because you made them mad?
Right.
There's no way to predict that stuff, which is why you, generally speaking, just have to try as hard as possible to kill them with kindness. And I think a lot of these game developers need to figure that out, because it drove me nuts when Mark Dara, who was like one of the heads from BioWare, put out this video basically telling people, you can't talk to developers like this. You can't talk to developers like this. And I literally left a comment on his video saying, you don't understand customer service. You've never dealt with customer service. If you worked at a store and you started telling customers you can't complain to the cashiers about you'd be fired. And he just responded, you can't talk to developers like that. I'm like, no, you don't understand reality. This is why your company is failing. Why everyone at BioWare is about to be out of a job. Because you just don't understand. But
you don't understand and you don't want to listen.
And,
Bye.
you know what? The sad part is, when Bioware eventually goes down, and it will, sadly, he loses his job. He still won't understand. He still thinks that it will somehow be the customer's fault, not theirs.
Right.
Could I be wrong? No, it's still the customer's fault.
It's basically, quote that meme of The Simpsons with Mr. Skinner. It's like, am I just out of touch with everything? No, it's the children's fault. But replace children with customer. But yeah,
But yeah, I think we've more or less made any points we can make at this
pretty much,
point.
pretty
But
much.
I feel like hopefully some of them at some point figure this out. Like, but they probably won't because it's just
I think it'll take a lightning bolt to the skull for some of them.
they're too much. They have too much of an entitled mindset about things to really ever figure it out. Unfortunately, but until next time, everybody, happy gaming.
All right.
Ciao.